Fellas, RJ from Revelry Fitness, actually becoming RJ from Boxing News today. So Manny Pacquiao states that he wants $40 million to fight Terrence Crawford. A lot of people are calling him out, saying that's unreasonable, saying that he's pricing himself out of that fight, he doesn't really want that fight. I think those people are dead wrong. They're dead wrong. And here's why. Manny is an absolute legend. And truth be told, the fact that he has a belt or is a champion in recess, according to, I forget what he is, the WBA champ now, that's completely irrelevant because the man is beyond the belts. When you put on the biggest fight in history in terms of ratings, finance, that fight he had against Floyd back in 2015, you are bigger than the belts. What that man has done for his country, the country of the Philippines, no other fighter has done that for their country. No other fighter has put the whole country on their back and even ran for public office and said, I'm going to make this a better place to live. I'm not just going to spread awareness and donate to charities. I'm going to actively be part of my community, do my civic duty, and be a senator. So that man is a hero. And to an entire nation of people, he is a hero. And that's why he can command a $40 million paycheck to fight Terrence Crawford. The issue that people have with putting that fight together is that, well, there's no way Terrence is going to get $40 million if he fights Manny. And yes, that's true. And I don't see an issue with that. You want to know why? The casual fan, or even just the casual that knows nothing about boxing, these big fights, those are the people that pay out the most money. Because there are a lot more casuals than there are hardcore fans out there. That goes for any sport. Those are the people that bring the money in. Because if you can get their attention, you can get more eyeballs on your product. So you look at Terrence Crawford, the casual can't name a single person he's beaten. Terrence was an undisputed champion before he moved up to welterweight. Nobody outside of the actual hardcore boxing fans can name who he beat to become an undisputed champion. So why should he command more than, let's say, 10 or 20 mil at best against Manny? Manny's the A-side all day, and he should be the A-side by a country mile. But you look at accomplishments, people can actually name who Manny's beat. Even if it's somebody like Juan Manuel Marquez, somebody like that has a lot more clout and is much more well-known than any of Terrence Crawford's opponents. Now, I'm not one of these people that hates on Terrence Crawford. I'm not. I don't think he's a ducker, and I don't think that he hasn't fought anybody, because he's fought a lot of great fighters. They just didn't really have a name. So therefore, you can't expect to be even with Manny Pacquiao in a fight. You can't expect to make the same pay as him. Unless you're bigger than him, like Floyd was in terms of clout, you can't expect to be the A-side in that fight. I'm sorry. Nobody can. And the thing about it is, what the frig else is Terrence Crawford going to do at the moment? Because Bob Arum, that dirty old hag, wants nothing to do with him anymore. He said he's tired of losing money on Terrence Crawford. But to be fair, Bob Arum doesn't put together the big fights either. So, really, he's in a lose-lose situation because he has a promoter that doesn't like him, and the big fights that are out there for him, he's really got to be the B-side. He has to if he wants to put these fights together, because otherwise these other dudes aren't going to fight him. He's too much of a risk. Terrence Crawford is too much of a risk for these other guys, for these guys to say, okay, we'll do a 45-55 or a 50-50 split. No, nobody's going to do that. If these guys can point to their social media and say, look how many followers I have, that's good enough for most of these promoters to say, okay, you're the A-side. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. That's the reality of the world we live in. So, Terrence Crawford, in all honesty, what he needs to do is he needs to get a big name on his resume. I don't care who it is. He needs to fight somebody. It doesn't even have to be somebody at welterweight. It can be someone at a different weight class. It truly does not matter. He just needs a name. And in all likelihood, he's going to be the B-side no matter who he fights. Because simply put, the casuals don't know the man. But that's it for today's video. Like, share, subscribe for honest boxing news. Brandon. branching out a little bit. And I will see you fellas later.